Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing the Synastry chart between Jennifer Lopez and Ben, also known as Benifer. I got a request, so I'm going to go over their Synastry chart. But before I do, I just want to tell you that there are two birth times for her listed on the internet. One is at noon from Astro Theme, and it has a rod and rating of C. Now, sometimes that rating can be accurate if it's rectified, if the birth time is rectified from a known ascendant. But in this case, it's not. It was deemed inaccurate and original source not known. So I can't use the 12 p.m. birth time because, like I said, it was deemed inaccurate. The other birth time I found was listed at 5:49 p.m., I think, and there is no source of where that came from. So on that note, I'm going to be going over the aspects between them without either of those birth times. I did, however, come up with a birth time of my own. I don't think that she was born at noon, and I don't think that she was born at 5:49 p.m. because I went over all of the planetary placements in her birth chart using those birth times, and it did not seem right to me for various reasons. And I will go over that in another video with her birth chart. If you want to hear about that, hit the subscribe button, and I will be getting to that shortly. So on that note, I'm going to proceed, and I will tell you what aspects are based on my birth time that I came up for her, and the other ones that are not contingent on birth times. But I do have his accurate birth time. Okay, so his Jennifer asteroid, that's a PNA, and Sirius conjuncts her south node 1 degree. This is really nice because whatever conjuncts your south node from the other person, you will receive those energies. And in this case, Jennifer, to me, this is fate, and Sirius, that has to do with, it's a love asteroid. His Valentine conjuncts her Eros, 1 degree. Valentine, really nice, sacrificial love, conjuncts her Eros, that's eroticism. Her Felicitas conjuncts his moon, 0 degrees. That's really nice. Felicitas has to do with the goddess of happiness. So whatever conjuncts your moon from the other person, you will receive those energies, and it will affect you strongly because the moon, the sun, and the angles are really the most important part of a compatibility chart. So Felicitas, the goddess of happiness, conjuncting his moon, he feels her happiness and her positive energy when they are together. So this is excellent. Her Neptune, Agua and Lust conjuncts his vertex 1 degree. The vertex, another really important part of the Synastry chart. You will receive those energies, and they better be good. So we have her Agua that has to do with unconditional love and friendship. Her Neptune, that has to do with the energies of fantasy, illusions, and dreaminess. And Lust conjuncting his vertex, self-explanatory. So this is nice as well. His Mars conjuncts her Night and Penelope asteroids, 2 degrees in her 7th house. That has to do with committed relationships. Now that is based on the 7th house, based on my birth time. Otherwise, her Night and Penelope, this has to do with devotion, and she has his back, and she will always defend him, and it's conjuncting his Mars. So that brings extra power to those asteroids. Another nice aspect. Her Boda, Spanish for wedding, conjuncts his descendant 2 degrees. So this translates into that she will she will be bringing a wedding into the relationship because it's conjuncting his descendant, another important part of the compatibility chart. It's an angle. So why didn't they get married? Well, there's a lot of other things going on here that I'm going to explain. Now, his Zeus, Saga, and Neptune conjuncts her moon, her bride asteroid, and the midheaven. This is all based on the birth time that I came up with for her, and I think that this is accurate. His Zeus, that has to do with infidelity or cheating. Saga has to do with, it's a soulmate connection, and it means not only soulmate connection, but soulmates with a long history and a long story, and they have one. His Neptune conjuncting her moon. Like I said before, dreaminess, illusions or fantasy, and Neptune conjuncting your moon, you could also have this psychic dreamy connection. Now, it conjuncts her bride asteroid as well. So I think there will be a wedding. All of this conjuncts her midheaven. So basically the whole world saw this interaction between the two of them, because whatever conjuncts your midheaven from the other person, you will receive those energies, and the general public will see this energy interaction between the two of you. His Semper, Vesta, and Casanova conjuncts her IC 2 degrees. Semper and Vesta have to do with loyalty and devotion. Casanova has to do with cheating. Now it's conjuncting her IC by 2 degrees. So those energies affect her strongly because the IC is another important angle of a compatibility chart. And the IC is opposite the midheaven. So what touches your IC from the other person, those energies will happen behind the scenes. Now, the Casanova that has to do with cheating, I know that there were unconfirmed reports about infidelity on his part. So that would make sense to me because it's behind the scenes. Now, did he cheat? I would have to say yes, but in this instance, because Semper and Vesta are holding hands with Casanova, the loyalty and devotion asteroids, I think that this was a mistake on his part. It wasn't something that he was having like an affair. It happened unexpectedly, and he felt really bad about it. And I think it had to do with his drinking, because his Blow and Bacchus asteroids conjuncts her Jennifer, PNA, and her descendant by 1 degree. The descendant, based on my birth time, is in the sign of Leo, and her Jennifer, PNA asteroid, is in the sign of Leo. Isn't she a Leo? So Blow has to do with failures and mistakes, one of the energies. And Bacchus has to do with overindulgence in either alcohol or sexual activities, or just an overindulgence in certain areas. So that would make sense to me. I think that's the reason why they broke up. So there's other indications that I'm going to explain further that will give more reasons why they split up the first time. Now his Dolores conjuncts her vertex 1 degree. This also makes sense. The vertex is another very important point of the Synastry chart. Dolores has to do with pain and suffering. So when they broke up, he brought her a lot of pain and suffering over their splitting up. Her Melpomene conjuncts his IC 1 degree. Melpomene has to do with tragedy. So he thought he felt this tragedy when he lost her, and there was a lot of pain and suffering and regrets. Now, his Apophis, Uranus, and Juno conjuncts her point of fortune. The point of fortune looks like it's a circle with a cross in the middle in your synastry chart. Apophis, Uranus, and Juno, this would explain to me why they did not get married. Apophis has to do with destruction, and Uranus is a planet that has to do with sudden upheavals or sudden unexpected events. You never know what's going to happen if Uranus is involved. It could be really great or shocking. And in this case, destruction, shocking, unexpected energies in the in relation to the Juno asteroid, which has to do with marriage. So now we have her point of fortune, which is like a mini Jupiter, and it magnifies whatever it touches. So all of a sudden, their marriage was called off. Now, her Apophis, destruction, conjuncts his Mercury 2 degrees. Mercury is a talking and communication planet. That's the energies that Mercury represents. Now, Apophis conjuncting his Mercury, sudden decline or an ending of communication between these two, and it was for 20 years. They didn't talk, and it was over. And I know this aspect personally because it happened to me with a really good friend of mine in college. Something happened, and there was no communication, and we did not talk for 20 years. So this also is makes sense. Now, will they get married? I think that they will. I don't know when. I would probably have to go over their composite progressed chart, and I might do that. And I hope it works out for them. So that's all I have. If you're interested in hearing about more synastry charts, hit the subscribe button, and I will be back again later. Have a nice day.